name's Sean Shanley. I've been in the career for about 6.5 years, and I'm a photojournalist.
Awesome. And how did you first become interested?
I studied film and radio and television in college, and just kind of like dabbled in everything, a little bit of animation. And I moved back home to Springfield, Illinois, and was looking for work. And one of the only places that was really in my industry, besides advertising, and that's kind of hard to get into, was local television. So I applied for the job, and they accepted me. You really need, to study basically radio and television and the production side. So that involves getting to know like camera use, like what aperture means, like how the iris works, depth of field, stuff like that. Audio issues, you need to learn how to operate a mic. You need to learn composition is huge. And composition basically is everything you see on the screen and why it is, where it is. It just helps tell the story a little bit better. Gives it a more, I guess, a cinematic TV feel instead of just being kind of flat and plain and boring. So yeah, technical issues and communication skills are very important. You will need to talk to a lot of people in this industry, so you can't be afraid of interpersonal communication, stuff like that. Yeah, like I said, communication is huge. Like our industry, like we're a media, and media is communicating, whether that be through, like art or television or film or music. It's all communicating with your fellow human beings. So you really need to be, you don't need to be super outgoing, but you have to be comfortable with your own skin and talking to people in your community and strangers you've never met before. And a lot of the times, a lot of the people we interview aren't comfortable being on camera. I guess I wouldn't say like psychology, but counseling almost a little bit. Like you want to, like, because some people like really freak out and they can't do it and they hyperventilate and they just freeze up. So you got to be able to communicate with them, calm them down, work with them so that you can get what the product you're looking for, the soundbite. Depends on the market. The starting salary for a photojournalist or a news photographer is not great. So if you're looking to make money, this is not where you want to go. But if you're looking to get into journalism and say you can't get the journalism job you want, starting out as a photographer is great. Or if you're just like me and you just like being behind the camera and like just, producing television in that aspect, then it's good. And you can build yourself up, and eventually it's really easy to move up, because a lot of people end up getting out of the career because they kind of get burnt out just with the kind of content sometimes we have to deal with. Can be a little bit rough for some people, and then some people kind of use it as a stepping stone to get better at producing content, media content, and then move into more of bigger production stuff like commercials, film, television. But it's a really good jumping off point. Or if you just like me and you like to get addicted to news, then yeah, it's nice. It depends. Always 40 at least, but when more news is going on, you can get 60 easily. Breaking news, you could work a 16-hour day straight with no lunch. You're just constantly on the move. Depends on what's going on in the world. A lot of the time, I'm not usually in the office. In my particular position, I work with a feature reporter, which means she does the lighthearted stuff, or he or she would do the lighthearted stuff, restaurant openings, a theme park ride or anything like that. More lighthearted, more fun, less breaking news, less doom and gloom. So I'm that photographer, so I specialize in being able to put my body into compromising positions and still being able to get the shot off, and doing kind of extreme stuff like rock climbing, mountain climbing with a camera on my back and stuff like that, which I really enjoy. And most of the office time is usually just spent editing in a computer. Typically, normally it would start like 3:30 a.m., get in, make sure all my batteries are charged, make sure my camera's operating, coordinate with the morning news anchors, just seeing if anything has changed, if we're going to our spot that we already set up, or if something breaking news is going and they want to switch us around. Talking to the directors back here of which live gear I'm going to be taking, the truck outside that we have, like a microwave truck, or a live backpack, which is basically like a bunch of cell phones, strapped to your back that allow you to transmit video and sound back here. And then I hook up with my reporter, and then we usually get on the road about 4:45. It depends on how far we have to go. Get to our location around 5. Set up with the clients that we've already established. Walk them through how the morning is going to go, how the hits, what time, what we expect, make them comfortable, what they want to talk about. And then while she's doing all that and we're doing all that, I'm setting up the mics, lights, getting the camera ready, checking color temperature, checking the environment, make sure I run cables and that they're safely secure, that no one's going to trip over them, like myself or someone that's just walking by. And then around 5:45 is usually our first live hit, and then we're going live about 2 or 3 times an hour till about 9 o'clock, and then wrap up, come back here, edit whatever I have to do, or if I have to go shoot another story. And then my day usually wraps up around noon. Benefits the people we work with, definitely. Like, people that work in news are a different breed. Like, I don't know what it is. Obviously, they're not in it for the money. They're in it for the storytelling, and they want to be a part of their community. A lot of people don't realize that local news is actually a social service. Like, we supply what's going on in your neighborhood. You know, we're not national. We're not talking about the big stories around the world. We're usually talking about what's going on in your neighborhood, like student council meetings, city council meetings, or anything like that. Like if there's a water main break on a road, or if there's, like I say, a new restaurant in your town. We're just trying to inform you what's going on around you. The people I get to meet are amazing. I've met so many great people and had so many amazing opportunities. I was fortunate to be in Chicago when the Cubs won the World Series, so I got to go to that parade. I got to be on the parade route. So I was part of like 5 million people, like one of the largest gatherings in U.S. history. So it's just like those little moments you get to be a part of are fantastic. I can't speak for that a lot because I don't have a wife or kids, but I can see the challenges like of an early morning schedule. You know, just balancing that with you have to go to bed sometimes at like 6 o'clock, and like if you want to stay up and have dinner with your family, I can see that being an issue. But a lot of the stations I worked at are very family oriented, and they're willing to work with you. And I think a lot of the people that work here have really strong relationships with their family, and it can be trying, just like any other thing. But like I say, they work through it, and everything works out well. Well, yeah, just saying the opportunities, like I get to do some crazy stuff, and like usually like we have a ski week, so they'll send me all around Colorado, and I get to stay in pretty nice hotels. I mean, you're working like 12 hours straight a day because you're basically shooting in the morning, then editing, and then running to the next, 2 or 3 hour drive to the next ski resort. But you get to wake up early in the morning, see the sunrise over some beautiful landscape, and I mean, you just can't beat it. Probably everyone's going to end up shooting on their iPhones eventually. iPhones will probably end up being a little bit bigger, and I can see a lot of the big hunky equipment leaving. My job might not exist maybe one day, but I think there's always going to be a need for someone just to go out and quickly get video. But it might be more of like an MMJ kind of thing, like a multimedia journalist. Digital platforms, everyone's going to like websites now, but hopefully they keep broadcast, free. I would say, yeah, the only immediate change I would know of is probably technology getting a lot smaller, a lot more portable. Just watch local news, watch national news, watch how they put the stories together. If they wanted to go into my career, start looking, you can look towards film and start studying like composition, like I said, is huge. Lighting is what you really want to. That's the toughest part of our job. Sometimes is just getting something really well lit. And then your interpersonal communication skills. Just start interviewing your mom, interview your aunts, your grandma, do little interviews like that, and get better at it. and then I would say as also to study like print journalism too, to see how stuff's written.